Hey, welcome back to D-Lone EV8 Motorsports. Thanks for being here. Just gonna do a little shop update, channel update, talk about the 55, talk a little bit about how it did last time out, which was the first time this year. The channel's doing pretty good. What is it? 3,793 subscribers. And so thanks for those that have subscribed. Keep watching. Hopefully we'll get some good action for you. This is gonna be a little different. I'm just gonna kind of leisurely take you through what's going on with this yellow car and the changes I'm going to make to hopefully get it to run a little bit quicker. And so I'll talk you through some of those changes. I'm not really a how-to guy, and there's a lot of guys that have helped me, especially in the clutch department, that might get a kick out of this because I'm going to try to share a little bit about some of the adjustments I've made, how the car has responded, and kind of what I plan to do next. And so I'll show you the tricks of the trade, I guess, on the clutch. And please chime in. If you have dealt with this stuff before, if you have advice, I'd love to hear it. I have gotten fantastic advice. JP, probably one of the first ones to give me some advice even before I bought the car with the stick. Bruce. Dick Arnold. Bruce from Bruce's Garage, by the way. Dick Arnold from Dick Arnold Racing. Jamie from up in Canada. Great advice from Jamie the first year or two that I ran this thing. Got some advice from Ram Clutches. I've gotten shock advice from Viking when I bought the shocks. And so I've had a lot of good help. I'll share what I plan to do, and I'd love to hear from you. If you think I'm doing it wrong, if you have advice or things that I should maybe change, I'm all ears. This is going to be kind of a learning year. The motor is fresh. It's a little bit different. The clutch is fresh. And so the first time out, it was kind of a show, so to speak. And so we want to try to improve on that. So stay tuned. I'll take you through what I've done and what I plan to do this thing. Well, first things first, this isn't really a performance upgrade of any kind, but I actually, every pass I make in this thing, I go down and I check a tiny little puke tank that is connected to the transmission, and normally I get a little tiny bit of ATF out of it. Well, lo and behold, I wasn't getting any. I made 3 passes at Woodburn a couple Saturdays ago, and I actually did not have enough oil in the transmission. I screwed up. I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought it was a quart for every pod. This transmission has 3 pods. You can kind of see. I'll try to give you a view. There's basically 3 main pods, and then there's the reverser in the back. And I thought it was a quart for each pod and a half a quart for the reverser. That is incorrect. It is for a 4-speed, you should put 4.5 quarts in. And so there's 4 quarts on the floor, and there was a half a quart in that can that's in the car. So it now has 4.5 quarts in it. It should be good as new. I don't think I caused any problem. It wasn't that low on oil, but I'm gonna fix that up. So the other thing I did, and I will insert a view of the clutch, but I'm kind of an open book, and I'll just show you my notes here. This is the current setting in the clutch, and so each of those numbers off the left-hand side, those are the clutch fingers, and that's how much counterweight is added. And so that's 10 for the first finger, that's 10.12 grams. And the way I measure that is this super cheap scale. Basically, I'll back up a little bit. You add nuts and bolts to put weight on the clutch. The counterweights, and you measure each one. You want to balance it out. So it took some doing today. It actually took quite a while to get this all balanced, and I backed off the static adjustment as well. So it had 1 turn of static. 2 Saturdays ago. And here, we'll back up and I'll show you. So here's the notes from a couple Saturdays ago. I had 77.91 grams total on the clutch. You can see that here. And I had 1 turn of static in it. And that was with all the brand new stuff that Ram clutches put in it. It has, it's a 2-disc Ram billet clutch, and it's a drag racing clutch, and had a new, I believe a new floater and 2 new discs. And they cleaned it up and refreshed everything and resurfaced everything. And so it was a little bit tight. I was having some traction problems off the starting line. I'll talk a little more about that. And then I actually had high gear tire spin issues, which was startling for me. So I ended up electing to take roughly 17 grams off the clutch. So from 77.91 grams total down to 60.9. And so hopefully that takes a little bit of pressure off the clutch down track, lets it slip a little bit on the shifts and keeps it from spinning the tires. That's the plan. I'll go back in time a little bit and I'll show you a little bit how I had this the previous years. And really, you know, the time that matters would be the last time out. And so the engine was a little different, the cam was a little bit smaller, and it had a lot less compression than it does now. But for the Fall Classic, I actually had 77 grams of 77 grams of weight on the clutch. And that car ran great. Actually, at that event, the way it was set up, it went a 953 at 140. I can pretty much tell it's making a little more power now, because even with a really bad 60 foot and early track numbers, it still went 140. A couple of Saturdays ago. And so the clutch is tight, motor's definitely making power, because I have such a poor run and still get the thing up to 140. I'm thinking the engine's pretty happy. So I'm kind of starting over. I may regret these changes, and so we'll see. You know, I didn't come down too far. I didn't want to make too big of a swing. I actually got some great advice from my buddy Scott Davis. Scott has worked with us on the Tiki Warrior funny car, and he and I have been on other funny car teams, and he's really good at advice, and he's dealt with a multi-disc, you know, those are 3+ discs in those funny cars, top alcohol and then a nostalgia alcohol funny car. And I actually had it at 50 grams, and Scott thought that was kind of a big swing, and so I brought it back up to 60. And so we'll see where that ends up. I also took a half a turn of static out, and I'll show you on, I'll insert an image here. The static adjustment is basically the spring pressure on the hat, and so it's the pressure plate pressure that is built from the springs. And so if I'm stuttering a little bit, it's because I'm out of my element. This isn't stuff I'm really an expert on, but I'm just repeating what I've heard. So anyway, a little bit less static should help it get off the line. The car spun the tires at the hit a couple times, and I'll let you in on a little secret. I didn't say this to too many folks, but I actually screwed up. When I went out 2 Saturdays ago and I set my tire pressures, I was going for 19 pounds, and I had 19 pounds in the left rear tire, but in the right rear tire, I had 21 pounds. And why? Because I had the gauge upside down when I was reading it. And so I was kind of in a hurry. That's my excuse. I was running around trying to film some stuff, put some GoPros in some cars, not focusing. And so, plus I think I need to get a digital gauge. I think I'm over my analog gauge. So anyway, yeah, so first 2 runs, I had more pressure in the right rear tire than I had in the left rear tire. And the car ended up going, turning right down track, and that was exciting. And so it wasn't drastic or anything, but I noticed it was it was edging to the right, and that was weird. It doesn't normally do that. On the last run, I had the tires balanced. I think I went for like 18.5, and I did catch that, and I had the tires balanced on the last run, and it still had traction problems early, and it clearly, when I hit fourth, broke the tires loose. And so don't know how great track prep was that day. I'm not going to blame it on that. Clearly the motor's really happy, and brand new clutch was a little bit tight. And so we're going to make some of those adjustments. We're going to go out this Sunday and we're going to try it again. Woodburn's got a 2-day race with, I think, a test and tune on Friday. Stalling as I get my trusty Woodburn schedule out. Sorry for the wobbling. Where are we at? Right here. May 2nd through the 4th. Nostalgia Nationals. I'm not sure if you can read that. Pro Nostalgia, Dragster, Roadster, Top Gas, Hot Rod, Street Machine, Street Rod, Inline, Flathead, Stick Shift, the Cools, and then Gasser. And so it looks like it's a Saturday, Sunday race. They do have pit parking at noon on Friday, and they have testing from 3 to 8 on Friday. And you know, the cold, long winter has people probably wanting to get out there and test. So get down to Woodburn Drag Strip. Should be a good time. We'll see what the changes on this thing do. And come on down, watch us race. My buddy's gonna be there, Brett Davis in the Orange 55. You've seen it on this channel a million times. He's been running good. That thing went, I think 10-10 first time out this year. And his best ever 60 foot in that behemoth, he did a 137 in that thing. And that's leaf springs and slapper bars in that big block, 55, crazy. And I think it's 38 plus for weight. And so that car's running really good. It never ceases to amaze us. But Brett, of course, would like to go quicker. He'd like a 10.0 or maybe a 999, who knows? Anyway, come on down Woodburn Drag Strip. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing. This channel thing's been a lot of fun. The stats aren't stellar, but I have fun doing it. Definitely had a good time with some GoPro action in some cars. I'm gonna keep doing that. I've got an invitation for a certain pro mod from up north. And so I'm gonna put a GoPro or two in a certain pro mod later this year, maybe the Night of Fire. So that's gonna be wicked. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.